Award winner. My name is Michael Johnson. I've been the head coach of the team since 2014. My co-presenter slash heckler-in-chief is Isriah, who's been with the team since 2021. He has been, though, involved with FIRST since kindergarten, came up through the entire program as a student, and now as a mentor. So, this is not the story of, this is not the Philadelphia story. This is not what we did. This is more about how we did it in a hope that we can give you some of the tools to build impactful outreach programs in your communities. That being said, here's the 30-second version of how we arrived at the Impact Award last year. Last year was our 25th season. We had started presenting for the Impact Award back in 2011. In 2016 was the turning point, though. Our team focused our team mission to inspire and prepare the next generation of STEM leaders in Philadelphia. We founded the nonprofit Philadelphia Robotics Coalition as a vehicle for pursuing that impact. So last year, in our Impact Award winning year, we were supporting 131 FIRST teams across all FIRST programs, and there were sort of 50 additional teams that were, well, whatever. 94 of those teams had been started in the previous 3 years. Our team logged over 5,000 volunteer hours, hosted 21 events for these teams, or supported other FIRST events through volunteerism, dispersed $175,000 in grants to these teams, and our total program funding was about $300,000. So I hinted at this already. As we started this journey to the Impact Award in 2011, you go, you present, maybe you win, maybe you didn't, and you'd always try to look, well, what are the winning teams doing? Maybe we can do that. We had poor success with that, because the ways that teams had found success, the things that they were doing in their communities didn't work in Philadelphia. So as we now are sort of pivoting into this work of impact training, what I'm hoping to do is to help you build an impact program that is right for you, right for your team, right for your community. Because the needs and the resources are going to be different. So before we get a little deeper in, I just want to do some quick poll questions. So raise your hand if, whose team does outreach? Fantastic. Whose team has a mission statement? Fantastic. Whose team uses their mission statement to guide their outreach program? Okay. My goal is by the end of the day, all of those hands go up. And how many of you have already submitted for Impact Award either this year or you're planning to next year? Okay, so that's again, 10. For those who are not already steeped in this, I just wanted to remind everybody what the FIRST Impact Award is about. This is pulled straight out of the award ceremony script. I'll read the bit in bold. The FIRST Impact Award is presented to the team judged to have the most significant measurable impact of its partnerships among its participants and community over a sustained period, not just a single build season. The winner is able to demonstrate progress towards FIRST mission of transforming our culture. So this idea of pursuing the FIRST mission and measurable impact, it's really what this is all about. Now, maybe you can tell from my raise hands questions, your first hot take of the day is that most FRC teams, most FIRST teams who are doing outreach without impact. They're doing outreach without strategy to drive it, and so the results, the impact of that outreach is minimal. We've broken our path to FIRST Impact Award into 3 stages. First, you need a plan to develop that outreach mission, to set clear goals. Second, you execute that plan, pursuing the mission and goals, tracking your progress. Remember, it's got to be measurable. This is the part where you're actually having the impact. The third part is competition. FIRST Impact Award is a competition. You have to beat the other teams. We are presenting 3 conferences today. You are here at Mission and Vision. Come back at 11 for Barriers and Bridges, that's tied to stage 2. Come back at 3 p.m. for How to Impact. Isriah and I are doing the first 2, and our students are presenting the 3rd. And I'm only 1 minute behind the target. For now. All right. So welcome to Mission and Vision. 3 objectives today. I want you to understand the form and function of a mission statement. We're going to explore some example vision statements and guiding questions. And then there'll be time for us all to workshop mission statements. You'll start to think about crafting mission statements or refining your team's mission statements. So what is a mission statement? This is a clearly communicated statement that says what an organization is trying to achieve. I think there's 3 parts of any good mission statement. A mission statement should tell you who the work is for. This is defining your community, defining your audience. It should state the what. What is the desired impact that the organization is trying to have? And third is the how. What's your method of acting going to be? Now, you should also keep in mind who this mission statement is for. Is it an internal statement that you use within your organization? Is it an external statement that you use for funders or in public relations? Have you got the unicorn that does both? So let's look at some example mission statements. The first mission statement. So this is kind of long. The mission of FIRST is to inspire young people to be science and technology leaders and innovators by engaging them in exciting, I'm actually going to stop here. So this, for 2 reasons. This is what I call the user's manual or essay version mission statement. It was clearly written by committee. It has got lots of great things in it. It is not possible to remember or assimilate all those ideas at once. Is anybody going to jump in and correct me here? I'm actually lying to you. This is not the first mission statement. It was the first mission statement in August. Last time we presented this at the first mentor conference out in California, and this last week in freshening up the slides, I'm like, well, let me just check. And they changed it. This is the firstinspires.org Purpose, Mission, and Vision page today. The mission of FIRST is to provide life-changing robotics programs that give young people the skills, confidence, and resilience to build a better world. Round of applause for FIRST. Okay, this is the part where I was going to be roasting, but instead we can be excited and praise this mission statement. So who's the who? If you look at this mission statement, who is FIRST looking to serve? Young people. That's a big change for FIRST. A lot of FIRST language starts with, this is a mentor-based program that students come later. This is serving young people. What's the impact? What is FIRST trying to achieve? Build a better world. And how? What's the how? The method. Life-changing robotics programs, building skills, confidence, and resilience. Right, so it's who's it for, what are we trying to accomplish, and how are we going to get there? All in a digestible little sentence. Now, there's a missing piece from every mission statement, and that is the why, the motivation. This is usually not included. And in fact, all the example mission statements I'm going to show, this is not included. And we're going to tag you in for your bit.
I get 2 sentences in this talk.
You get 3. You get 3.
You're right, 3. Okay.
Plus
So,
heckling.
heckling.
But now I'm just heckling you.
I don't think this is supposed to work. Okay. The why is important and often overlooked. I've been doing FIRST for a really, really, really long time. Sometimes the why is we like building robots or because we like building people. But I think that FIRST's mission statement is larger than that for a number of reasons. But ultimately, first it's about getting more people involved in more ways in engineering. Hot take number 2, this is going to be a long list. If you have white guys building things, they're building things for white guys, and that's a limited audience. You have a small number of people doing a small amount of work, benefiting a small number of people. And if you have more perspectives, more experience, more people involved in the process, more steps along the way, they're building better things for more people, and it makes everything better for everybody. So the idea of FIRST is not just help more kids build robots, it's about getting more people access to these programs that are super cool. And we get more into that in the Barriers and Bridges part, but you can't just do cool things, you have to do cool things for more people.
There's a little bit of motivation hiding in the vision statement, right? This notion of transforming the culture. I guess you could say that maybe that's more impact, but anyway. Moving on. The Philadelphia Robotics Coalition, so this is the nonprofit that the RoboLancers founded to be our outreach mission vehicle. Here's that organization's mission statement. The coalition's mission is to build an ecosystem of mentorship and support for the next generation of STEM and community leaders in the city of Philadelphia by encouraging public school students' engagement in robotics programs. So again, we can ask those questions, right? The who, Philadelphia public school students. The what, the impact, is to build this next generation of STEM and community leaders in Philadelphia. The how, the method, is through an ecosystem of mentorship and support, supporting engagement in robotics programs. So those pieces are all there. Now, for the why, for the motivation, we get a little more sort of context for Philadelphia, and again, I'm going to turn to vision statements. This is mission and vision. I should define vision statement, right? So a vision statement describes where an organization is going. It tells you what the world will look like when the mission is achieved, defining long-term goals and aspirations for the impact the organization will have. Another tool in the sort of toolbox of guiding statements is an essential question, sometimes called a North Star. This sort of distills your work down. Your mission then is to find an answer or find many answers to that essential question. And if you feel like you have a full answer to your essential question, then you've probably realized your vision. So back to the Robotics Coalition. Our vision is that every Philadelphia public school student will have access to a high-quality robotics program in their school or community. And you have to understand, the school district of Philadelphia has got 200-something schools, 200,000 something students. And it is a very stratified system. The elementary schools vary widely by zip code. Areas of the city that are whiter or more affluent see higher quality schools than areas of the city that are higher populations of people of color or are less affluent. And then at the high school level, there again is stratification. There are special admin schools, which other people call magnet schools. Central High School is one of those, where the students have applied and been accepted. It's an academic magnet school. And then there are neighborhood schools, where everybody in the neighborhood is welcome. I'm probably supposed to tag in Isriah to talk about FIRST implementation.
Yes. I'm going to stand up. I was sitting down because we were talking. Again, I've done FIRST for a really long time. I've been with the RoboLancers for 3 years. The way that we work, quieter, louder, am I louder now? Good, great. The way that we work is not by doing something new and unique. We are buying into the FIRST ethos. The things that FIRST does, it does well for certain people, and we want to do it for more people. So the coalition essentially serves as a compatibility layer for this international program and our community. The things that we can do is increase the effectiveness and adoption rate of this program and make it more accessible for more people in our community. And if that looks like presenting modified program formats or changing the messaging for our community, it's the small things that we can do that help our community buy into FIRST at large.
I think everybody agrees that FIRST is a great tool to get kids inspired and prepared for life as STEM professionals and STEM leaders, but who has access to that opportunity? And so our vision here is that every Philadelphia public school student will have access to that opportunity, because then FIRST can help everybody achieve these goals across our city, rather than just being another tool for those who are already privileged to climb and leaving others behind, which is what motivates our essential question. How can the coalition use robotics programs to drive equitable STEM education for Philadelphia students? So everything that we've been doing over these last 8 years is trying to answer this question. How can we make FIRST programs work for more students across Philadelphia? How can we build that access? What do we need to do to get there? I've got one more example mission statement, and that is for our team. Our mission is to inspire and prepare the next generation of STEM leaders in Philadelphia. So this, you'll note, is different. It is much shorter than the others. When we were building a mission statement for our team, I wanted one that even my students could remember. You're welcome. So keep it short, so that like you should be able to point at anybody in the 3-2-1 shirt that you encounter here. What's the team mission? They should be able to rattle this off. It is brief. The audience is clear, right? We're talking about Philadelphia. We'll come back to that in a second. It's aligned with FIRST's mission of preparing a next generation of STEM leaders. Different, though, from the previous two I've shown you. This I call open platform. What's missing from this mission statement, intentionally, is the how, is the method. Unlike a business or nonprofit that is led by adults you expect to stick around for a while, the nature of a high school robotics team is there is constant churn of people in, people out. Any student that comes in and has an idea, this is the litmus test. Is that work going to help inspire and prepare the next generation of STEM leaders in Philadelphia? If so, the team is ready to get behind it. We don't want to prescribe how that work is going to be done, because that pushes out new ideas. All right. Now I'm 3 minutes behind. Crafting a mission statement with your team. I was excited to see that many teams here already have a mission statement. Crafting a mission statement you can do from blank slate, you can do from existing, but as you do it, I think it's really important to involve students and stakeholders in the process. Especially for a student robotics team, you want that team to feel ownership of this mission and the mission statement so that everybody can get behind the work. Come back to this mission statement, review it, either to remind yourself what it was or to revise it if you need, so that you can keep focus on your mission. When new opportunities come your way, we get emails and Facebook messages in from people all over the place. Oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. And we say, okay, will this help us inspire and prepare the next generation of STEM leaders in Philadelphia? And if so, the conversation continues. Now, mission statements should be durable. You don't want a new one every year, but they are not set in stone. We, the Robolancers, hit a milestone last year, and it's time for us to reconsider our mission. We have our mission ends in Philadelphia. We had very sort of rigid city boundaries, and all of our work over the last decade has been very laser focused on the city of Philadelphia. I don't think we would have accomplished what we did in Philadelphia if we were trying to do it for the whole world at once. But also, we turned down good things, good opportunities, because they were outside of the city. We haven't come back to consider the mission statement yet, but we are absolutely talking about how much we want to open up those mission borders, already talking with our neighboring FRC teams outside of Philadelphia to try to figure out what we can do next. All right, we've arrived. Your turn. Notebooks out. Something to write about. Many big old notebooks. Look at all these notebooks in the front row. They've been to the innovation fair. A phone will work as well. So I have got a series of 4 questions, and for each one, I'm going to give you a minute to jot down your own ideas in your notebook, and then we'll have 3 minutes of small group discussion, looking for groups of 4-ish who are sitting near you. It's fine if you're all on the same team, it's fine if you're all on different teams, so figure out who you're going to chat to. So here is our first question. It's about who, defining audience. So what groups of people does your team serve? Now, that could be as currently defined by a mission statement, as currently defined by your current practice, what your team is doing, or it could be aspirational, like this is what we want to be doing. And if you have multiple communities or audiences on that list, what are your intentions for each one? Are they all aligned with the same intentions for each group, or do they differ? So we're going to take 1 minute to jot your notes down silently on this question. Let's have 3 minutes of small group conversation. I know we didn't give you long enough. You can have a full hour conversation on each of these questions, but we're going to do 4 in less than an hour. We are going to do a quick share out, so what I want to hear is in 5 words or less, who or what groups of people is your team trying to serve? And we're going to start at this end. Call them out. Underprivileged. Team, school, community, first community. Immediate community to global stage. Our program, our community, and first in Michigan. Teams in our county. Students of all abilities and backgrounds. Younger generation of California. Students on Ramstein Air Force Base. Folks who want to engage in STEM. Immediate neighboring school districts.
Students in our county.
Students in our county. Underrepresented students in the Milwaukee area. School district and neighboring area. People without access to STEM. Kids in our community. Underrepresented, underserved students in Plano SD. Students in Latvia and Romania. Students without the confidence or funds to participate in STEM in our community. One more. Our community and teams across the world who don't have the funds necessary to participate. All right, thank you for those. Before the next share out, please review the definition of 5. Here's the question, the second question. So this is the what? Defining your impact. So what change is your team trying to affect in your community? Now again, this could be defined by an existing mission statement, defined by current practice, or totally aspirational. Now, there's always that secret why. You may be thinking about why. What's the motivation behind that impact? And bonus here, how will you measure and track your progress toward this change? 1 minute silently. One additional heckle of the audience, in addition to the number 5, there were a lot of people who defined our community as our community. Speak on that. In your small groups, 3 minutes.
5 words or less, and if someone says something similar to your answer, hold it, because I imagine some things are going to be similar. Starting over here, 5 seconds. 5 words. Man, I'm rough. Okay, 5 words. What are you trying to do? What's your dream? What are you trying to affect? How are you, not just who are you affecting, but what is the impact you are having? 5 words.
Continued access to FIRST programs.
Continued access to FIRST programs.
Robots without borders.
Robots without borders.
More gender minorities in STEM.
More gender minorities in STEM. More accessible STEM opportunities. Robotics as a school subject.
More accurate representation of STEM.
More accurate representation of STEM.
Eliminating all barriers to STEM.
Eliminating all barriers to STEM. Inspire careers in STEM. Providing opportunities to underprivileged communities. Make sustainable STEM programs. Making FIRST and STEM accessible. Pretty solid.
Thank you. Any commentary, or should we?
No, I'm so proud. They learned 5 words. They did it.
All right. We are going to skip. I'm going to show you what the next 2 questions are, but in the interest of having Q&A time, we are going to not do the full discussion. So the next one is about defining methods. How does your team serve its community? As defined by blah, 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 blah. And to what extent are those methods predetermined, or is your mission open platform? We talked about that earlier. And then the last one is the vision question. What will your community look like when your mission is accomplished?
Also, for everyone panicking taking pictures, these will be posted. They're actually available right now, but I don't remember the link. You'll get access, don't worry.
So your next steps. Set aside time with your team to consider these 4 questions with your team. There are tons of resources available on the web for crafting mission statements, vision statements. So there's sort of templates for how to work that through. Work together to craft a mission or vision statement to guide your work, and keep that language in the team psyche. Keep it at front of mind. Then here's the key part. You have to focus your team's time and resources on activities that are aligned with that mission. There are always more opportunities, other ways to go, but you have to stay focused. If you want more help with how to stay focused, come back for part 2 at 11. That's barriers and bridges. And part 3, path 3, which is the students' how to impact presentation. As you can see, we've been recording this. It will be published on our YouTube channel. And Isriah and I are mostly here to ignore our robot and talk to other teams about their impact work. And we are both relatively easy to spot.
I have not watched a match since I got here.
So with that, we have got a few minutes left. Oh, yes, we have 9 minutes left for questions.
We're gonna have Maya run around with 2 microphones because that's how we work here.
We get questions over here.
So I'm curious.
Wait.
I can just yell, but okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, double. Okay. Now I'm getting a question. So, would you ever consider, at what point in these 4 questions, the mission and the vision, where do your team's values and that discussion kind of, deciding what your values are as a team? Is that before this process? Is it after? Is it at the same time? Or is that, is it not important? I don't know.
So the unfortunate for process answer is that mission, vision, and values are all tied up with each other, and you end up having to sort of work in circles, or you think about one and then the next and sort of work round and round, because yes, those have to fit together.
Okay. Thank you.
So you guys mentioned that you formed a 501c3, and then you have your team, which is not within that 501c3. Is that correct or not correct?
It's a Venn diagram.
Okay.
There is massive overlap, and different things are the same That's actually a very difficult question. Like
Yeah,
trying to draw a
I'll talk
line.
with you later, because you have to have a board.
Yes.
You understand.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand. There are parts of being a 501c3 that our students are not allowed to do. And the work of the 501c3 would not have gotten nearly as far if we didn't have over 100 students on this team putting in those 5,000 volunteer hours a year. So the 501c3 was an additional tool in our toolbox. We also needed to, well, this maybe is too in the weeds of the Philadelphia politic, but never mind, that's too in the weeds.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
So the-
Can I ask a follow-up to that?
Really,
Yes.
so the one sentence I give is this: the students can't sign checks, and instead of putting 3 of them in a trench coat, I can go do that during the school day legally, and they can focus on school, and then after school they can do the work that matters. That's the philosophy behind the 2 organizations.
Makes perfect sense. So, stepping on that as a mentor, so I have a belief, and I'd love you to disabuse me of this, that this is going to be constrained by the number of mentors we can train and prepare for the program. Go.
So you need to have mentors who are ready to care about this. And that can either be driven by mentors or it can be driven by students. But I think one of the things that we did on the RoboLancers is that we made outreach hours mandatory. Right? We said, all right, everybody's gonna log 30 outreach hours this year. And our seniors are like, and then they graduate, we don't have to deal with them anymore. And our younger students are like, oh, outreach hours, and they go and they volunteer at their first event, and they have a ton of fun, and now they've got 150 hours or whatever. You have to get the whole team on board with it. And at the beginning, we get to do this as mentors, students. Maybe it's blank secret. You can like drag a team a little bit, and they kick and scream and whine, and then those people graduate, and the new people coming in, that's all they've ever known. This is how it works, right? So I could do a whole separate talk about sort of generational change on a FRC team or a first robotics team. But
The other core part to that, though, is, as we talked about earlier, you have to involve the students and the community in the decision-making process. We did not come down from above and say, you will do 30 hours. The team said, we want to formalize this as a thing that we do value, and we think that an hours requirement is the way to do that. So it wasn't a chore, it was putting in stone the expectation and the obligation, and it worked for us.
I will also be honest that we have been focusing on our impact, and the robot at times feels like an afterthought. And you can see that in our event rankings. And right, we are exceptional in some ways and not in others. And that was a choice that was made. So we were focused on that. Last year, I said we had 168 students across 321 plus 6 FTC teams all meeting in the same room at the same time. We had, sorry.
This is another song.
All right, another song. Question. Thank you for bringing me in.
Sorry, I lost my voice. Apologies, but what advice do you have for starting the conversation involving students when discussing goals or impact and what they want and what they're willing to commit to as a small team?
The cheeky answer would be, why don't you steal my slides and ask those 4 questions in a team conversation, and do it a few times over a period of weeks or months and start to craft this, right? Have a direction, have a purpose that you're trying to achieve. And then the how is the next topic before Isriah yells at me again. We get more questions on this side.
Okay. So y'all started the coalition. How do y'all ensure that they could live on without it? Or can they?
I can't really answer that right now because we have 2 minutes left. There's not an easy answer.
Okay.
So, would you say that conveying a story centered around mission and vision is more valuable than speaking about a quantitative impact that your team would have in the community or vice versa?
You're talking about for the impact judges?
Just like in general, when you're conveying your impact to people, what would you say is more?
So you need to frame your impact within a mission. Like there needs to be a purpose to your work. And you need to be able to measure your progress towards that impact. I think you need both. And again, I'll refer you to the next upcoming talks about ways to frame that. 90 seconds. Come on, Maya. Go Maya, go Maya.
Yes.
Where in this process do you introduce subject of constraints? Do you finish your mission statement and then work on that? Or do you
Yes. So the next part, barriers and bridges, says why isn't this achieved yet, and how can we go about achieving those? I would not worry yourself with the constraints of the world at this phase. This is aspirational, and we probably get.
It's probably the last question, but I've been trying to get you to pay attention. But when do you think is the best time to start planning to get everyone involved? Like I'm sure that's kind of foreign to some people, but
From the beginning, right? And that's why I say that your whole team should be part of this conversation in forming a mission, and then your whole team needs to commit together to doing the work to see it through.
I'm cutting off Michael because he will keep talking. That's also an invitation. Come chat in the hallway. Like what we've been doing the entire week is talking to people. Talk to us some more. There's more conversations to have here. But the volunteers are going to kick us out any second.
We're gonna get kicked out. Yeah, we're gonna get kicked out. I'm just gonna go out to the third floor balcony and sit and